Interest rates will range 6.25% to 6.75% if there is no rate hike. Essentially, if inflation comes down and if there is a war agreement. Interest rates will range 6.75 to 7.25 if inflation remains high, and inflation will remain high if there is an ongoing war. There's two dates that matter more than the rest when it comes to the housing industry. It is next Wednesday, July 15th, and then it is September 11th. What are both of those days? Those are your upcoming inflation prints. Remember, mortgage interest rates are heavily moved by economic data. And of course, heavily moved by current headlines right now. Because we really can't know when the headlines are going to change, right? We have an agreement, we don't have an agreement, we have an agreement. That's something that we don't control. What are the things we can look at that we can control, help predict where mortgage interest rates will move? So right now, interest rates are ranging around 6.7 to 6.8%, okay? And the reason why those two dates matter above everything else is those are our next inflation prints. And these inflation prints will dictate what the Fed does with interest rates. Normally, again, we look at labor data. This is labor week, and we're seeing labor come actually a little bit softer, but you're not seeing interest rates move a lot. And again, we have non-farm payroll on Friday, which could move it a little bit, but realistically, what's mattering and what's the trigger right now? It is inflation. So again, let's look at inflation. What happened in March or what happened at the end of February? You've seen inflation spike for the 3 consecutive months. Then we had an agreement and we had inflation come down, right? We saw a 0.9% print. Then we saw a deflationary print, right? And so now we're back on. And because we're back on, we're seeing moves in inflation, unfortunately, move the wrong direction. So the August 15th print, we already have a prediction. It's going to come in at a 0.1% month over month print. That is not a bad print. That is actually a decent print. But the issue is we already have August predictions, which is funny how it works, right? We're 5 days into August as of this recording, and we already have August predictions. And August predictions are predicting a 0.4% month over month print. Again, ignoring all those concepts, basically it's just simple. 0.1 good, 0.4 bad. The July print will be decent. And because it will be decent, the Fed will not hike interest rates. But if it comes in bad, they will hike interest rates. And a 0.4% print is bad. So again, we have to wait because again, July 15th, September 11th, then guess what? The Fed meets 5 days later after that September 11th print. So if any of these prints come in poorly, then the Fed is going to hike interest rates. I've been team rate no hike for a while. I didn't think inflation was bad. We had the agreement, inflation became deflationary. I am still holding on to hope that there will be no rate hike. But realistically, it's all going to be determined over these two next prints because if they're high, the Fed is absolutely going to use it as ammunition to hike interest rates. And if they hike interest rates, then yes, mortgage interest rates will move higher. As simple as that. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.